Hey everybody, Gabe Jenkins back with you. Working on SolidWorks part number 8 today. I hope that you're having fun with SolidWorks. We're every single assignment we do, we're kind of gaining a new skill and a new way of understanding how to build more complex shapes with straightforward step-by-step moves. And I hope you're starting to understand that there's a lot of tools in SolidWorks that are pretty powerful and pretty amazing. Today's SolidWorks shape we're going to be doing in millimeters and grams, and we're going to be using titanium today. Titanium. The mass I got was 623.74. And if you get that, awesome. If you get something very similar to that, awesome. If it's off and you want to talk about it, I'm happy to talk to you about it. See if we differ on how we viewed the technical diagrams. So here is the technical diagram. There's a couple of things I want to highlight as a preview on how you approach this shape. There's one new tool that I'm gonna want you to try to use, and it's the mirror tool. But you're used to using the mirror tool for fillets, or I'm sorry, not for fillets. You're used to using the mirror tool for two-dimensional shapes, right? So in sketch mode, in a 2D sketch, you're used to taking some element of your sketch and making a mirror image of it across some kind of plane of reflection or line of reflection. And obviously, you still have that tool available to you in the two-dimensional parts of SolidWorks. But now that we're dealing with 3 dimensions, one of the things you can do is you can create a whole part, a whole section, a whole thing in SolidWorks, and then you can make a copy of it and reflect it so that you have 2 of those things if you have a central plane of reflection. And so the reason I'm highlighting that now is that that's one tool I want you to be able to use. And so you see I got a mirror here and a mirror here. So these are not like a new, it's not a new sketch. There's no new sketch involved. It's just taking something you've already made and making a mirror copy of it. So that's a new tool that you're going to use today. But the reason I'm highlighting it now at the very beginning as a preview, it's very, very helpful for you to think about a shape for a few minutes before you just start to jump into it. So like I looked at this shape and I noticed that if I had a plane and I just drew a plane right through the center of it, I could make just this top part here and then make a copy of it down below. But in order to do that, it would be much easier if I did the following. So let me show you. I started off by just making this. Now this might seem like this, I've had a couple of things that look like this already, but look how I extruded it, right? I drew it, if I show you all the planes, I drew it on the top plane, but then I extruded it up and I extruded it down. I did a mid-plane extrusion. I didn't just do a blind or like one directional, a unidirectional extrusion. I did a mid-plane, so I built it up from that plane and built it down from that plane. The reason why that's super helpful is that I knew that if I did my next part, which was this part right here, which is actually more complicated than you might think. You're gonna take a second and you're gonna see there's a lot going on that sketch. That's gonna take you maybe a little while. If I got in there, like there's a fair amount going on in this sketch. Anyway, it's a little complicated, but I don't want to get too far into discard changes. So if I made this, if I made that on that top thing, the next thing I did was I could mirror it down below, right? So that simple ability to create one shape and then mirror it down below is really, really helpful. And so it requires, though, that you've thought about how you're building your shape step by step, feature by feature in advance. You can't just jump. I mean, you can just jump into it, but then you'd have to make that whole thing twice, right? That'd be crazy. So instead, if I think logically about it, think strategically about it, I can make one thing and help myself to like save some time, save some effort. And so that is the basic overview of the process of how this shape was made, step by step. Will be coming up in a little while. Maybe I'll just let you figure out how to do this one. I showed you the most complicated sketch I showed you. Maybe I'll just let you do this walkthrough on your own. because I got to pull back the scaffolds at some point, that you kind of like sink or swim a little bit. So I think maybe I'll do that with this assignment. All right. Everybody have a wonderful, wonderful day. Good luck on this. Make sure you do those things that I'm telling you to do in this preview. It'll make your life a lot easier. All right, everybody. Have a great day.